the guilty verdicts have come in. You've had some time to think about this. Do you have anything to say?
Breaking tonight, former Theranos CEO Elizabeth Holmes quiet as she leaves the San Jose courthouse, sworn by reporters after hearing a split verdict in her federal fraud case. Good evening, everyone. I'm Heather Holmes.
And I'm Alex Savage. The verdict in the Elizabeth Holmes case comes in a combination of guilty, not guilty, and deadlock conclusions. Jurors found Holmes guilty on 4 counts, including 3 counts of wire fraud and 1 count of conspiracy. They found her not guilty on 4 other counts, and they deadlocked on another 3 counts.
KTVU's Evan Cernovsky has been following this trial from the very beginning. He joins us now live once again from the courthouse there in San Jose with reaction to this afternoon's split verdict. Evan.
That's right, Heather. As you saw, Elizabeth Holmes just left this courthouse moments ago, walking across the street to the hotel she's been staying at since the prosecution and defense finished their closing statements way back on December 17th. Now, since then, the jury spent 7 full days deliberating. Today was the 7th full day, and they came to this verdict. Guilty on 4 counts. All 4 of those counts are related to investors. The first count, the conspiracy count, was related to conspiring with her co-defendant, in this case, Sunny Balwani, to defraud the investors. 3 other guilty verdicts related to those investors. Really the weakest part of the prosecution's case here, the counts against the patients, they came back not guilty on, and then 3 of those counts that the jury went back and forth sending notes to the judge, coming back again. They deadlocked on those counts. We're expecting the judge to hold a hearing next week in which he's expected to dismiss those counts or find that that it was a not guilty or who would you call it? No verdict on those counts. So as we move on here, the U.S. Attorney's Office issued a statement. Stephanie Hines just moments ago said Elizabeth Holmes was found guilty of a large-scale investor fraud, and she must face sentencing. Now, the big question coming up in here is, when will that sentencing be? That's going to be at a later time. Elizabeth Holmes wasn't remanded into custody. As I said, we saw video of her leaving the courtroom amid a whole swarm of photographers. This is obviously a very high-profile case and a culmination of 4 months of testimony from 32 witnesses, most of them from the prosecution, a lot of them investors, as I said, and those are the counts that the jury came back guilty on. Heather?
Yeah, and Evan, as you mentioned, Elizabeth Holmes herself not making any public statements regarding today's guilty verdict. Anything yet, though, from the defense?
We haven't heard anything. There's been no comment. All we've seen is these really emotional moments from Holmes, from her family. After the verdicts were read, Holmes turned to her family, gave them each a hug and a kiss. She was clearly upset. She was crying. Her father was in the hallway, seated in the hallway, looking very dejected and upset. They spent a few moments. They all gathered together. They held hands as they had done so many other times, and walked out of this courtroom amid this real media frenzy. And keep in mind, this is a media frenzy that Elizabeth Holmes helped cultivate throughout her time at Theranos. All of those magazine profiles, all of those interviews with the media, and now, once the attention is on her, as her company started to come apart, as she had this dramatic fall from grace, all of this attention that's been on her since she was the high-rising CEO is now on her at really one of her lowest moments in her career and life.
It certainly
Heather?
is, Evan. But what a day when you think about how this day started and getting that note from the jury that they were deadlocked on 3 charges.
Right, this developed quickly. I mean, this has been dragging on. Keep in mind, we've had extended breaks for Christmas. We've had extended breaks for New Year's. It's been since December 17th that this jury has been deliberating. Granted, it's only been 7 full days because of those breaks. But finally today we heard the 3rd note from the jury. It had been 10 days since we had even heard a note from the jury saying that they were deadlocked. That seemed to give us a little indication deadlocked on those 3 counts, I should say, it seemed to give us a little indication that they were moving toward a verdict, and then right at the end of the day, right toward 4 o'clock, they came back. They said they're not able to resolve those 3 other investor counts, and here we are, guilty on 4 counts, 3 of them fraud, 1 of them conspiracy to commit fraud.
Yeah, such a long wait for all of us, and obviously, several months for the jury involved. Great reporting today, Evan. Thanks for breaking that news on Twitter. Really appreciate your great work throughout the trial.